What's good, YouTube? It's your boy D-Ball, and I'm back with another reaction, man. Today, we got explaining of Season 5 of Stranger Things ended, man. And I'm pretty disappointed. And I know y'all probably like it and probably think it's the best ending y'all ever seen of Stranger Things and how it's supposed to happen. It was terrible to me. It was terrible. I think that they rushed it. I think that there was a lot of plot holes in it. Obviously y'all probably didn't realize that when y'all was watching it. Even though it was 2 hours long, you could kind of see like the things that they missed out on and like forgot to put in and film probably or cut out important things. But you know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's just me. But I hope y'all had a good New Year's. I hope y'all had a good New Year's. I hope that everybody got what they wanted for Christmas, things like that. I know I haven't posted in like 13 days, 12 days. You know what I'm saying? But I'm back. And it's 2026. And it's about that time to really lock back in on what I'm here to do and what I'm trying to do and things like that. So if y'all want a video, just let me know. I'm going to drop like 2026 goals and things like that. But overall, I appreciate y'all for clicking on this video. We're on the road to 2,000. Let's get into it.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. This will be my video for the Stranger Things Season 5 finale, Episode 8. There's so much to talk about, so many WTF moments, so many Easter eggs, so many callbacks to the very first episode. It is probably going to take a couple rewatches to fully unpack this. There were so many plot threads, so many cliffhangers, so many storylines that they had to pay off. They really need like 6 hours to do it in a completely satisfying way. On top of that, there were just hard drives and hard drives full of deleted scenes, footage that they shot for the episodes that never actually made it to screen. We will probably learn more about those in the next couple of days, so I will do a deleted scenes video, alternate storylines, alternate ending, in addition to like my full longer breakdown videos in the next couple of days. The episode title was The Right Side Up, which is a reference to the normal dimension, Earth, which ironically, when you look at the configuration of how they're visualized in space, the way the Duffers visualize them, technically sits on the bottom here and is upside down in frame, so the regular world is more like the upside down, technically, although upside down and right side up are relative terms depending on your perspective, which also plays into Vecna and the kids' perspectives, the Mind Flayer's perspective, because of all the reveals about the Mind Flayer. Depending on whose perspective you're taking, which dimension is the right dimension or the better dimension. But getting to the real big stuff, like biggest questions that were answered, what was really going on with the Mind Flayer this whole time, I feel like they confirmed most of our biggest theories. I talked about this in my previous videos too, how the Mind Flayer was really pulling the strings on this the whole time, and how he'd been manipulating Vecna ever since young Henry Creel got trapped in the caves when he was a little boy. Basically confirming that you did have to watch the Stranger Things First Shadows stage play in order to get critical backstory. Probably going to go down as one of the biggest criticisms of Season 5 is that you did have to watch a stage play that was only available.
Now, I didn't watch the play though. I didn't see the play, but I've heard that you gotta watch it to, I guess, understand a little bit of Season 5, like the beginning, but
in a couple parts of the world, meaning that most people did not see that stage play. But at least they did give us the Cliff Notes version of the reveals, why he moved to Hawkins in the first place, like what happened, what was in the briefcase, all the troubles he had during the events of the stage play, all the terrible things that he does over the years when he was a little boy, all now confirmed to be because he was under the influence of the Mind Flayer, and also because of what Dr. Brenner did, abusing him at the same time. So he was being attacked from both sides, so no wonder why he turned out so crazy. Also confirmed that it was the Mind Flayer that gave him powers when it entered his body, like the black smoke of the Mind Flayer, its organic material entered his body, which is also why you see it leaving the kids when they're detached from the tubes. So even though we saw a physical body, like to make a Star Wars reference, a Death Star that was the Mind Flayer, like the Mind Flayer is the Death Star of this series. Its actual natural state is just that cloud-like structure you see, and that's how it takes over people. It just enters their body, like this cloud-like substance. Basically Mind Flayer particles inside everything. They confirmed the Mind Flayer had been gaslighting him this whole time, making him even more afraid to re-enter the caves in his memories so that he would never remember the truth of what really happened.
Okay, see that part I understand. When I was watching, I'm like, okay, so they did that. He was scared of the cave because the Mind Flayer didn't want him to go in and remember how he got the way he is. Okay, I remember that part. But I'm gonna let y'all know the plot holes that y'all possibly missed in a lot of scenes that was cut out, and you could tell they wanted to just finish it. Like they just wanted to finish the show, and I feel like they wasted a lot of you could tell the way they was writing, they was going to make a season 6. And I'm going to tell y'all why at the end.
Will doesn't exactly give him a mind space therapy session, but he does talk to him inside his mind, and Henry Creel does overcome his fears to actually step inside the cave. I love the way they revealed it too, basically through his perspective, because he's finally remembering things. Even though you could make a lot of Star Wars Return of the Jedi comps here, he doesn't go full Darth Vader to Anakin Skywalker. There is no actual redemption here. He's done too many awful things, killed too many people, messed with too many people, abused too many people. But it really is a Darth Vader Emperor situation, and the Mind Flayer is the Emperor this whole time. Also love the confirmation that the Flesh Castle is the real physical body of the Mind Flayer. We all thought, I think we assumed that when we saw it for the first time, like, oh, it's the Dark Crystal Castle. That is probably the body of the Mind Flayer because it looks like an upside down version of the Mind Flayer, which basically just climbs out of the earth and turns into a giant spider, which is also meant to be a callback to all the drawings. This is why young Henry Creel started drawing all the spiders and became obsessed with spiders. So the idea is that the young Henry Creel is still fundamentally a good boy inside the Vecna character here, but he's being perverted, manipulated by the Mind Flayer this whole time to do all these terrible things. Now when you go back and you rewatch Season 4 flashbacks with him inside Brenner's program and Brenner doing all these things, all the added context sort of changes things and makes it way more dynamic. The whole idea here is that the Mind Flayer's true goal this whole time was to absorb the normal dimension, take it over, and consume everything the same way they imply that it did with the Abyss dimension, which is what the scientist was trying to tell young Henry Creel. Don't let it in, otherwise it will consume everything like it consumed everything inside the Abyss, which is why it looks like a dead dimension, basically. This is kind of its thing, like it's a multiverse type of villain where it just slowly absorbs other dimensions, one dimension at a time, consumes everything, then moves on to the next dimension. Predictably, the only real main death that we wind up getting in the episode, if it wasn't clear, is Kali, killed by the military trying to save 11. So she did die a good, noble death. The bigger surprise, though, is that she did.
But let's be honest, though. We don't give a fuck about Kali, though. Like actually, when she died, I kind of just went on my phone afterwards and just didn't give a fuck. Like let's really keep it a bean. Like she really we didn't trust her to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Cool. She probably saved 11 at the end. You know what I'm saying? But we never know. And I think that was a terrible ending, bro. I feel like the Duffers played it safe. I feel like they played it safe because of the fans, and they didn't want none of their favorite characters to die. You know what I'm saying? So I think the ending was iffy to me. It was iffy. But, you know.
Not betray the group, and she also wants to help 11 by casting that one final illusion to allow 11 to live a normal life inside the normal dimension without having to die herself. There are probably a lot of you watching this that also predicted this, that she would cast an illusion just to make the group think that 11 sacrificed herself so that nobody would be looking for her after this. Like everybody, even the military, thinks that she's dead, meaning that she can now just live her life in this Nordic town. It seems like she's in the far north at the end of the series. Probably the bigger question with that is, will she ever try to contact the rest of the group? Will she ever try to contact Mike again at some point? You remember the Duffers said that they were doing a live-action spin-off series with a different group of characters at some point, so we will see how they try to invoke what happened during the main series, like how they tie it. Because even though they tell you what happened to all the different characters and what they're doing going forward in their lives, a lot of those didn't feel like direct teasers for spin-offs, because the Duffers said that the characters would be completely different and it'd be set outside Hawkins. 11 does get her Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader battle inside their version of a Death Star, the body of the Mind Flayer itself. Will also does help her fight him, but it doesn't wind up being the full 20 dice roll Dungeons & Dragons comp that people thought it was going to be, because they all three, Will, 11, and Kali together add up to 20, even though at different points they use their powers, so you could say they do add up to a 20 dice roll during the episode. They didn't all three at the same time on screen fight Vecna together. Probably one of the bigger surprises with how they actually...
Did y'all like the The L versus Vecna fight. Did y'all like that? I don't. I think she should have just fought him by herself. I think she should have just fought him by herself. I feel like all these seasons, you know what I'm saying, you really get your lick back type shit. Like, cool, Will can tap in, but I feel like they should have wrote where Vecna really like, all right, Will keep trying to tap in. Let me like block him out. So now Will can't even help L. So now L has to really use what she trained and whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all gotta see how I'm thinking about. Like, I just feel like 11 got too much help. You know what I'm saying? That mean that she was really just weak. She was really weak. She really couldn't fuck with Vecna, bro. That's what it seemed like. But I don't know.
Kill Vecna is that they let Joyce be the one to actually deliver the killing blows, as in multiple, because it took her a lot of whacks to actually get through that head. That was not quick. It definitely hurt. To be fair, he deserved it. But they imply that as Vecna actually dies, like he perma-dies, the Mind Flayer also starts to die because it needed him to survive. Like, I think part of the idea is that it was parasitic in that fact, and that's why it entered young Henry Creel, because it did need him to continue surviving. Here's the thing that'll screw with your mind, though. If you think that all the powers on the show came from the Mind Flayer because Henry Creel only got powers when the Mind Flayer entered his body, and then 11 got powers because she got Henry Creel's blood, so she got a little piece of the Mind Flayer inside of her, too. Does that mean that the Mind Flayer is technically still alive inside 11? Because we never saw...
I was thinking that. I'm like, hold on. How does everything end when Henry died, but the people with the powers like 11 got his blood? So shouldn't everything still be alive a little bit? Like, I don't know. I just be thinking about shit. I'm like, so that's it? You know what I'm saying? Like, even with the when Kali was talking about the pregnant women and all that, they just cut that out and that was it. That's what I'm saying. I felt like they wrote that season for another season to talk about the pregnant women and then the military trying to still get 11, but I guess they really just wanted to end it, so they just killed her off. So
black smoke come out of 11's mouth. Are there still some Mind Flayer particles inside 11 because she's still alive? You can let me know what you think in the comments because they leave that pretty open-ended. All the 12 kids survived, predictably. They rescued everyone and made it back to the regular dimension. When the Duffers said that they got to use a song that had never been licensed to other movies or TV shows before, I think they were referring to the Prince songs that they use in the episode. They used When Doves Cry and Purple Rain. It could have been one of those songs. I don't know if those have appeared in movies or TV shows before. I can't remember off the top of my head. Prince was famous for not licensing his music to TV shows or movies or commercials for a long time till after he died. His family then started allowing TV shows and movies to use it. So the reason why the Duffers can use Prince songs is because Prince's family is like, yes, please give us your money. When everybody makes it back through the portal to the normal dimension and the military tries to capture them, Kali helps 11 with her illusion to make it seem like she stayed behind in the Upside Down, and when the exotic matter detonates, collapsing the bridge, makes it seem like she dies. But even if you didn't skip ahead to the ending to see that she did survive, when the frame goes to black, you hear a heartbeat briefly. I don't think they would have shown that heartbeat if they didn't want to telecast that they were going to reveal she was still alive. Like, there wouldn't be a heartbeat if she weren't still out there somewhere. Then they use the rest of the finale for a big epilogue extended scene to show you what happens to all the characters. There's an 18-month time jump to the year 1989, and all the kids are graduating from school. A lot of people predicted this too. That's why they're watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, because it came out in 1989.
No ticket.
They remind you that the only real big characters who actually die are Vecna and Kali, although they think that 11 died until Mike reveals the truth at the end of the episode. Like, oh, by the way, she didn't die. Robin has not been the DJ since...
but she probably did die. That's just in his head, though, that she probably was still alive. So they basically ended off the show like, yo, you could believe if she alive or you could believe that she dead. You know what I'm saying? But if she alive, say she alive. If she dead, say she dead. But it's just like, to me, I just feel like the ending wasn't dramatic as it was supposed to be. Like, I feel like Vecna death was kind of bland. Like, it was kind of just like, alright, it's a fucking tooth in his back now, and he dies. George chop his head off. Cool, that was it. And then they just like I don't know. The feeling wasn't there that like this is all over. You get what I'm saying? Like, that feeling wasn't there that the show was over. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we killed Vecna. Now it's just like we leave. We leave. We in the back of the truck, and then that's it. And then the military come. Why did they take, or why did the military take them? Like, what did they do with them? They just brung them to the fucking to the Big Mac. That's it. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it was a lot of plot holes and a lot of scenes that were missing in that last episode. So I don't know. It just didn't feel right.
Jimmy came back. All the trouble went away, so Fast Hands came back. Nancy is no longer the station manager. The older group of kids basically went off to college, with the exception of Steve, who stayed in town because he wants all the little chicks, the little nuggets, 6 little nuggets. He's become the coach of the local baseball team. Derek is on his team, and he's also the sex ed teacher at Hawkins High School. Basically putting down his roots, getting ready to get married, and they have a bunch of jokes about him dating a whole bunch of different girls, like, oh, who's going to be the right one? I thought you said the last one was going to be the right one. Lucas and Max are back in their relationship, going strong, seems like. Erica builds the confetti device for Dustin's big Hellfire Club. Flourish is the valedictorian. He is the valedictorian now. Mr. Clark is probably extremely proud. He's like his star student. Hopper helps Mike deal with the trauma of losing Eleven, although you remember, Mike now knows that Eleven survived, so he's probably just upset that he can't be with her, even though he knows that she's still alive. But the way they played this scene, it seems like he thinks that she's dead. I think the way they filmed this is they just wanted to keep up the lie for a couple more minutes until they make the full reveal, so that the audience, like us watching it, still thinks that Eleven might be dead. When Hopper and Mike talk about the someplace far away with the 3 waterfalls that Mike talked to Eleven about in the previous block of episodes, Eleven basically goes to that place at the end of the episode. Like, they imply that she's found a place that looks like that in the far north. It seems like a Nordic town. Derek and Holly seem like they're best friends now. Derek is also part of Holly's Dungeons & Dragons group. We'll get there in a second. Karen also displaying her scars from the Demogorgon with pride. She's not hiding them, like she's made peace with herself. Probably not as much of a wino now anymore. Ted is totally fine. People were wondering about him, like, what happened to him? The show just forgot about him.
Yeah, Ted, I ain't gonna lie. They just, yeah, Ted was kind of just make sure he's good.
During Volume 2. But, you know, he was fine. They just didn't have time to deal with what was happening to him at the hospital when this was all going down. Jonathan videotapes their graduation because he's in college studying to become a filmmaker. Dustin's graduation speech as valedictorian heavily references Dungeons & Dragons tropes, calling back to Eddie, and a big flourish with the Hellfire Club to give Eddie another big shout out to, wearing a new Hellfire Club style t-shirt, which I'm sure Netflix will sell as merch in real life that you can buy. His whole speech likens their adventures and friends and enemies like Vecna to chaotic good, chaotic bad alignments. The speech is all about trying to put a positive spin on the chaos of the series and how it forced everyone to evolve as people, made them stronger, and through the changes, they're all better people because of what they went through. Basically saying, weren't the real Stranger Things all the friends we made along the way? When everybody starts cheering and Mike seems like he detects the same kind of feedback through the speakers that reminds him of the sound of the military's devices that blocked Eleven's powers, it seems like it's a sign of Eleven also being there in spirit, and because now we know she's still alive in the normal dimension, she might actually secretly be using her powers to sort of be there in spirit and in mind, so to speak. Like,
you see what I'm saying? Like, that don't even make any fucking sense, bro. That don't even make sense. She's there in spirit. She's in a tub somewhere. Like, nah. It's just too much, like, what ifs. Get with the fucking program and kill somebody off, bro. Duffer Brothers, bro, they played it safe, and I didn't like that, bro. Kill Steve off. Go ahead, kill him. Kill Dustin. Kill somebody off so we can feel that, like, that sadness, that dramatic feeling of what we've been going through all these seasons, bro. There's no way you tell me nobody died but Kylie, but that don't even count as a death to me, bro. That's just a person we don't give a fuck about. We can basically call her a military grunt. We don't care if she died. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's just too much like bullshit. It's too much
like
bullshit.
she's on the other side of the world inside a tub, visiting them in her mind space so that she can be there with them while this is happening without her body actually being there. There's a real quick moment where it seems like Dustin might finally find himself a potential girlfriend, but Mike convinces them, instead of going to her party, to all play Dungeons and Dragons again, as a callback to the very first scene of episode 1 of season 1, like all the way back to the beginning.
We're so screwed if it's the Demogorgon.
It's not the Demogorgon.
Steve, Nancy, Jonathan, and Robin talk about their lives now and all the different colleges that they're going to and how they're all going to get back together. Like, the group is still together, this group, because they're going to work on Jonathan's film together now. So, like, the group is staying together going forward. They're actually still working together and they're still good friends. It's kind of the same vibe with the younger kids, too. Like, even though they're all going to different places now in their lives, different colleges, the group is still kind of together. Nancy also surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, reveals she dropped out of her college, Emerson, where she was going, and got a job at the Herald newspaper and is trying to be a real reporter. Hopper and Joyce finally get engaged. He proposes to her. They've been going out since the beginning of season 5. The only difference now is they've been living together for a while, and now they're officially getting married. Hopper also has a bunch of Easter eggs that he references too. When he implies they should move somewhere nicer outside of Hawkins, like near a beach, and talks about going to Montauk, Montauk is actually the name of the original pitch that the Duffers gave to Netflix when they made the Stranger Things series. Like, it is the original idea for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Then we see Mike as the dungeon master of this final game that they play. It's a callback to during episode 1 of the series, he was the dungeon master. The only difference now in present day is that Max is here with them. The whole twist with the mage of St. Markovia stepping out of the portal miraculously to save their Dungeons & Dragons game is also a comp to Eleven still being alive and maybe coming back at some point in the future, like just stepping out of a portal. Hey everybody, missed you. There's another montage of the characters. I'm assuming the movie that Max and Lucas are watching here is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade because that's been playing at the theater recently. Dustin still hanging out with Steve on the regular. It seems like they go on camping trips because of that trailer behind his truck. Will seems like he starts going to gay bars, finds himself a boyfriend. Mike then decides to become a writer, and it's implied he turns their adventures into a book series. Since the Duffers said they were heavily inspired by Stephen King, it would be like saying Mike turns into Stephen King and his books are based on all the things that happened to them, with the exception being that he leaves out some of the details, like he said, like the actual truth about what really happened to the mage who is 11. All because they're still trying to uphold the secret of what really happened to her, although the group thought that she was dead until Mike tells them the truth and reveals what Callie did, casting that final illusion. We get the full reveal of 11 up in whatever Nordic country this is, seeing that small town, just implying she's going to live her life here. Maybe she will contact them again at some point, but it's implied that she still does actually have powers. Like I said earlier in the video, there was a big theory about how this would all work. Like, if you kill the Mind Flayer, you kill Vecna. If everybody's powers come from them, does that mean that their powers get turned off too? Apparently not. Then the actual final scene of the episode is revealing Holly Wheeler and her younger friends, some of the 12 that got captured by Vecna, becoming the new Dungeons & Dragons group, kind of taking over for Mike's group. Like, the legacy is being passed on. Mike is passing on the legacy to his little sister, and they're all having their own adventures now. Derek is also part of the group, telling everyone to suck his fat D. Then the end credits are a posterized version of all the characters depicting moments from all the previous episodes in the entire series since season 1, as if they're pages in a Dungeons & Dragons player's manual, which they reveal at the end of the credits. Netflix will also probably try and sell a real-life version of this as merch at some point. They've already done integrations.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. That'd be hard if they drop a board game of that shit. That'd be hard though. That would be tough. That would be tough.
With Dungeons & Dragons products in real life, and it's set to David Bowie's We Can Be Heroes. So there's a whole lot to unpack here, and what is that live-action spin-off going to be, and will it have something to do with the Mind Flayer, or will it be a completely different problem? Like, the series does touch on a couple mysteries, like the whole idea of the military trying to create exotic matter, Brenner creating the exotic matter, starting the program, slowly trying to contact Dimension X, the Abyss dimension. Will we see any of the main characters cross over onto the spinoff? Like if Eleven is still alive, all the other characters are still alive, if it's set outside of Hawkins? Or will it be more like an X-Files type of scenario where you see all kinds of weird supernatural in science fiction based things, technology based things happening that a brand new group of characters that we've never seen before start running into week to week? Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below and let me know if you think that they did pay off the finale in a satisfying way, or do you want them to do another episode, like another 6 hours to finish paying everything off? What I'll do is my next video will be my full breakdown of all the Easter eggs and references from the entire episode, much more detailed than this video. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that, and maybe if we find out about enough of them in time in the next couple of days, I'll also do a deleted scenes, alternate ending type of video if we learn about some of the stuff that did hit the cutting room floor. Everybody click here and here.
Okay. Now let me break down why I think it was a terrible ending. I think it was a terrible ending because it was just a bunch of bullshit. It was a bunch of bullshit. I feel like volume 1 was good. Will show his powers at the end of that volume. Cool. Volume 2, I feel like they wasted a lot of the episodes with a lot of dialogue, and they should have showed more about the pregnant women in that instead of just that one scene. I think they should have did that too. Also, in the last episode, I feel like the chemistry was actually the whole season. I feel like the chemistry was off with the actors. Now, 11 and Hop on top of the roof, right? She like, oh, I'm not Sarah. I'm not this. You gonna have to let me make my own choices like that. Cool, but it's like, you didn't even show her jumping up to the abyss. She just pop up there and fight the nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot of shit just cut out. Like, I want to see her actually jump up there and like that shit look crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, your last words to Hopper is, I'm not Sarah, after all these years. So it's just like, fuck Hop at this point. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Oh, also. When Mr. Clark and Erica was in the tower, right? And the military showed up to the church. What the fuck happened to them? Like, did they escape? Did they get caught too? You know what I'm saying? Like what happened? What happened? I just feel like a lot of the reactions from the actors wasn't the reactions they were supposed to be given to certain situations. Like Vicky seeing Max when she was with Elle in her mind and all that. She dropped her bowl of cereal, whatever the fuck she had, and then just go about her day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like Vicky like just now seeing shit. So like, have her ask questions or like do something. You know, I just feel like Vicky was a waste of a character, waste of money, paying her wise. You know, what else can I think of? I think the ending for the characters was good. I will say that. The ending for the characters were good. They all, I feel like the Duffer Brothers made sure everybody had a happy ending. So, you know, make sure the fans is good and things like that. That's why they killed Kali all, because really nobody give a fuck about her. That's why they like, oh yeah, Kali gonna die. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But overall, man, Stranger Things, it's a good show. Season 3 had to be the best season. Season 2, worst season. Actually, I wouldn't even say worst, but it is the worst. It is worse. I'm sorry. It is the worst. It is. Who else, bro? Bro, it's so much with this show that I could talk about, but this is a video. It's not like I'm live. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I got chatters in here and we can actually talk. So I'm really just like letting y'all know what I think. You mean? So I feel like they should have killed somebody off though. Made it a little bit more sympathy. Like, I don't know, man. But I hope y'all like this video, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Please comment down below what y'all think about the ending. Who should have died? What they should have did better. Who was the least favorite character? What was the best season? Things like that. Like, let me know. Like, really comment down below. And I'm gonna catch y'all.